swing back before we do that and go down to Bonza Tufa. Bonza?
Thank you, Ben. Let's get the wheel spin underway and start with our American Racer Pole Award winner, Matt Hirschman. Second straight pole. You told me after practice you weren't sure if you had the speed like Claremont, so where did that come from in your time trial?
Yeah, I picked it up a little bit from practice. Claremont, we were pretty much fast right off the trailer and throughout practice. But, I mean, everything, the times are so tight. When you have that many cars within a tenth of a second, there's, not a big difference between being the fastest car in practice and about 10th. So we were kind of in between there a little bit. But it's a long race, though. You'll separate yourself here now depending on how your car handles, how your tires size up, and then throw a little strategy in today. If you decide you're going to take some tires and when. So it'll mix it up, but we're about to probably mix it a little here right now.
Well, let's get to it. Spin the wheel. The last time you did this, wow, that is a really good spin. We might be here for a bit, but the last time Matt did spin the wheel, it ended up on the top 6. We'll see where it ends up this time around as the top 10 fastest qualifiers are waiting with anticipation and excitement to see where it lands. For a guy like Hirschman, I think I know where he wants this one to land, but the question is, what is it going to be? How many of our top qualifiers will redraw? It could be top 4, 6, 8, or 10. And it looks like this thing spins really good. Top 8? Top 8 fastest qualifiers will redraw to find out where they'll be starting in the Thunder in the Mountains 200. So, Matt, you can come on down. You get first dibs since you won the poll. No peeking. Let's see where you end up. Huh?
I think they're upside down.
Third, Matt Hirschman starting third today. Next up is Tommy Catalano, second fastest qualifier. Let's see where he'll actually end up. Fifth, inside the third row, top 5 for Tommy Catalano. Mike Christopher Jr. comes up next. Another good time trial for him. He's redrawn the pole before. Let's see if he's lucky again. Not quite. 8th. He'll be starting 8th. Andrew Moeller, the high roller, is up next now in the Danny Watts 82. He's had some good qualifying runs this season, one of his best today, and he'll be starting 6th. Next up is John McKennedy, our 5th fastest qualifier. 2-time winner this season. 2nd, outside the front row for John McKennedy. The pole is still up. This guy drew the pole last time at Claremont. Our point leader, Patrick Emmerling. Is he going to get lucky again? Oh, my gosh, he is! Patrick Emmerling draws the pole for the 2nd straight week, Patrick. You got the win at Claremont, led the most laps. Today, it seemed like you guys had a lot of confidence and ended practice early. What do you guys have for 200 laps today?
Yeah, we unloaded with a really good car today, and we couldn't really get him the fire in time trial, but that's the 3rd one in a row. At the ROC race at Shang, I drew a 1, so whatever the odds, I was looking up the odds of 2 1s in a row, so 3 1s in a row. I don't know, we got to play the lottery or something.
What's your secret?
Oh, I don't know. Sometimes you don't have luck, and then you do. So,
well, the luck is on his side right now. We'll see at the end of 200 laps. Next up is Paulie Hartwig III, our 7th fastest qualifier. He says it's going to be a 7. We'll see. He's calling a shot, and he's right, 7th. So no difference for him. That leaves Eric Goodale in the 58th, the last position remaining, which is 4th, outside the 2nd row for Eric Goodale. So there you have it. The starting 8 have been decided for today's Thunder in the Mountains 200, Kyle.
Bonza down trackside, so as expected, the front half of the field jumbled up from qualifying, which was held just a bit ago. The top 8 drivers redrawing their positions. 18 took time, and in just a moment, we'll introduce to you the 18 starters here this afternoon at White Mountain Motorsports Park.
We sure will. And, of course, Kyle, I talked a little bit earlier about history at this racetrack. Famous individuals have won here over the years. Bobby Dragon, a kind of a hometown favorite type name here in the mountains of New Hampshire. and another gentleman that came from the Agawam, Massachusetts area. His name was Tom Rosati. They've all secured victories here at this racetrack over the years, not in the Whelen Modified Tour, but they have placed their mark. Chris Michaud is the gentleman that owns and operates this facility, and it is first class, like all of the facilities that Chris Michaud has. Thunder Road, Thompson Speedway, Lee USA, and of course, right here at White Mountain Motorsports Park.
All right, let's introduce to you the 18 drivers that'll start here this afternoon for 200 laps, race number 9 of this 2026 season. Starting in 18th from Calverton, New York, the Marco Racing Engines entry, the 18 is Ken Hagee.
Back in the 17th starting position, Wannick Construction Company brings us car number 17. He is considered a rookie. It is Jaden Harmon out of Rockland, Pennsylvania.
Another rookie will start in the 16th position. Car number 95 from Swansea, New Hampshire, the Apex Race Cars, Truckers Fabrication and Welding, Apex Racing entry for Corey Plummer.
Now let's take a look at the 15th starter. It'll be car number 8. USNE Power 82 Services are among the sponsors. He called his original hometown Thompson, Connecticut, setting behind the wheel of car number 8, John Michael Chenette.
14 starter, 6-time series champion, car number 28 from Milford, Connecticut, a former winner here at White Mountain Motorsports Park some 6 years ago. New car providing the sponsorship for Doug Kobe.
In the 13th starting position, it'll be Old Blue, car number 3. The Greg Fournier prepared car, Northeast Drilling SYP. The driver is Tyler Ripkema from Owego, New York.
12th starter, car number 05 from Danbury, Connecticut, another rookie competitor here on the tour this season. The Business Time Motorsports and Orlando team of Remax sponsored car for Teddy Hodgson.
Now moving into the 11th position, it'll be car number 56. This, of course, part of the Catalano stables, USNE Power. Dave Catalano, the crew chief, the young and talented. It is Trevor Catalano.
Now into our top 10 starters, qualifying 10th and starting there, car number 21 from Newtown, Connecticut, the Wannick Construction Newtown Pool sponsored car for Stephen Kopsick.
In the 9th starting spot, the youngest and defending champion of the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour. He sets behind the wheel of the G&G Electric Supply, Fast Track Electric, Lanier Electrical sponsored car. Ron Newhouse and Sly Zavin is the sponsor of the KLM Motorsports car. The driver is Austin Beers from Northampton, Pennsylvania.
And now things get jumbled up from the grid on the track from the redraw a moment ago. Starting in 8th after qualifying 3rd, car number 31 from Wolcott, Connecticut, the Elite Towing, Elite Racing, Baker Racing entry for Michael Christopher Jr.
Now we can meet our 7th starter, Professional Therapy Associates, Jersey Shore, be the contractors, and of course, the gentleman from Galloway Township, New Jersey. This gentleman wasn't old enough to start in 2026, but he has made his mark already. Would you welcome car number 73, Paulie Hartwig III.
6th starter after qualifying 4th from Shelton, Connecticut, car number 82, the Horton Avenue Material sponsored car for Andrew Moeller.
And now let's move into the top 5. FX Capera USNE Power is the sponsor of car number 54. It was second fastest before the draw. Ladies and gentlemen, the driver of car 54, Tommy Catalano from Ontario, New York.
Starting in 4th after qualifying 8th, the redraw really benefiting the driver of car number 58 from Riverhead, New York, the GAF Roofing Riverhead Building Supply entry for Eric Goodale.
3rd starter on the grid is the man who spun the wheel, driving the Bar Harbor Bank and Trust PD Motorsports Bristol Toyota machine. Ladies and gentlemen, car number 60. The crew chief on the automobile is Mike Stein. The man behind the wheel is the legendary driver of car 60 from Northampton, Pennsylvania, Matt Hirschman.
And now our front row starters after qualifying 5th, redrew 2nd just a few minutes ago. The driver of car number 79 from Chelmsford, Massachusetts, Stewart's Automotive and Christopher's Towing, providing the sponsorship for John McKennedy.
And now let's meet the man that'll bring the field to green. He's been lucky. How lucky? He started on the pole at the last event. He won the last event at Claremont, but today a new challenge and a new deal. The USNE Power sponsored car. Dale Hedquist and the Grasso brothers prepare the car. Ladies and gentlemen, they call the car the Energizer, and so is the man behind the wheel, car number 1 from Orchard Park, New York. It is Patrick Emmerling.
That's the starting lineup. The 18 drivers begin to climb aboard their cars here on the front straightaway. The Thunder in the Mountains 200 from White Mountain Motorsports Park is coming up next. A month later than originally scheduled, but we are set to race here at White Mountain Motorsports Park as the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour gets set to begin the second half of their 2026 campaign here today. And Ben, we talked about it in the open, a gorgeous day.
It is
low humidity
perfect.
and about 72 degrees here at the racetrack. And it's dry, unlike about 24 hours ago.
It certainly is. And, of course, the big story here, the modifieds love to come to these bull rings. This kicked things off. Next, we're going to go to the high banks of Monadnock for another JDV Productions event. It's guaranteed to be a barn burner, and it's happening just a week from now. Compare that track to this track, Kyle, and there are a lot of similarities. They both got banking. They're both quarter miles, but it is still a challenge to be determined by the men that sat behind the wheel.
And that'll be the last short oval for a while here on the tour, as we have had a lot of bull rings in recent weeks. Off to the Thompson Speedway Motorsports Park on Wednesday, August 5th. Then the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. It's the Super Speedway for modified racing on August 22nd. And then the return to the Stafford Motor Speedway, a half mile in north central Connecticut on Friday night, August 28th. So a lot of bigger ovals coming up here shortly, but we are on a quarter mile high banked racetrack here this afternoon, and it's going to be a good one here today. The Thunder in the Mountains 200 here at White Mountain Motorsports Park for the NASCAR Whelen Modifieds. And it looks like the final preparations taking place from some of the drivers that were introduced late in the rundown are taking place down trackside. And once we get the thumbs up, we will be set to go for the command here in about 15 seconds from now.
Certainly is. And, of course, you're looking at Patrick Emmerling getting ready for the start of today's event as he's putting on the gloves, and he's ready. Gloves of a different type, not boxing gloves, but gloves of a driver who's looking to win here today.
All right, we are set to fire him up, and how about it, Ben Dodge? You are our honorary starter here today.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's count them down. We'll take him from 5 to 4 to 3 to 2 to 1 for the most famous words in motorsports. Gentlemen, start your engines. This is the Whelen Modified Tour.
Field comes to life here on the front straightaway. Gloves going on. Window nets up. Getting a good look at Eric Goodale, who is one of 3 drivers this season who have completed all the laps run thus far in the first half of the Modified Tour campaign.
You know, and you have to understand something. He cut his teeth at Riverhead Raceway. It is right down the street from the family-owned business, Riverhead Building Supply. So he knows how to run what they call the bull ring. We refer to that later. And what a beautiful facility this is. You can see the White Mountains in the background, and our modifieds are staged. And in just a few short moments, we'll pull from the starting grid as we'll get things kicked off. Perfect afternoon. 3 times is a charm. Kyle Rickey.
It is indeed.
It is. And we
would call
here.
this a top 10 day.
Yes, we would. And right now, you're looking at, there is John McKennedy. And, of course, the field will readjust. Paulie Hartwig, who's been so strong, and these short tracks don't scare him a bit because he came from, of course, the Wall Stadium. The NASCAR officials, Gary Putnam in charge of the competition here at Race Controls, and a staff of individuals that have worked from early in the wee hours of the morning to put this thing together and keep it all rolling. And of course, it is just a few short moments away. And our starters on the starter stand, familiar names to all of us as well, Kyle.
Yes, indeed. Absolutely, Ben, as the field begins to pull away for the first of 4 parade and pace laps here in North Woodstock, New Hampshire, a racetrack that was opened in 1993, just a quarter mile around. Very similar, exactly like your local high school running track, asphalt, and 6.5 to 8 degrees in the corners. Although we were told a little bit earlier, the bottom 6.5, 8 degrees, but the outer edge of this racetrack a little bit more, and it'll be interesting to see if that's where some of these cars go here this afternoon to try to get through the field.
Certainly is, and of course we told you the story earlier today. This track was molded after the old Riverside Park Speedway. They actually came there, surveyed it, and measured it, and then they came north and they built this racetrack. It was Donnie Avery who designed and created a racetrack, and it's very, very unique in more ways than you can imagine, Kyle. When we talked to everybody, they told us just that. They can figure out how to run the bottom, but not how to run the top. Some can figure out the top, but they can't get the car to stick on the bottom. We're going to see who has been able to conquer all of that.
Let's take a look at some of the numbers on the day. 200 laps will be the distance, modified live pit stops, and we'll explain that further here in just a moment without the option of a pit lane here in the infield. And they will have 2 new tires to put on these cars if and when that time comes. And talking with teams earlier today, depends on where they're running on the racetrack and when the cautions come out. Just 2 cautions in this race 1 year ago.
Sure was. And of course, remember this, they can swap tires. They can go front to back, back to front. But they cannot make these adjustments without 2 tires. If you're going to do it, you can do 1, go back on the racetrack, come back in and do a second one, and you can make those other adjustments as well. They head down the back straightaway here behind the official pace car of White Mountain Motorsports Park. And again, we want to thank Chris Michaud, his family, and his officials for being so gracious to all of us here as we come to this grand quarter-mile facility.
2 laps away from receiving the green flag here this afternoon, Patrick Emmerling, the new pole sitter, takes his spot on the front row following the redraw. Jonathan McKennedy outside of the front row, and they are 2 of 4 drivers within 10 points of the championship point leader, Patrick Emmerling, the point leader, Austin Beers, just 5 points back in second. Jonathan McKennedy and Stephen Kopsick to round out the top 10, and Austin Beers will start this event a little deeper in the field inside of row 5.
You know, starting is important. It's where you start, how you end up. Looking at the graphic, there's a story. Patrick Emmerling, 1 win, 4 top 5s, and 7 top 10s. Austin Beers is second in the points. Take a look at that. 0 wins so far. Hard to believe. And top 5s, he's right there in the same bracket. Remember, Kyle, when he lost the valuable history record that he had for leading more races or being among the top 10 in more races than any other driver.
Had a streak of 35 consecutive top 10s, and at the Oxford Plains Speedway earlier this season with an 11th place finish, but has been in the top 10 every race since. Crowd is here, ready to go. Beautiful Sunday afternoon to go racing for the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour. Here they come off of turn 4. Patrick Emmerling, John McKennedy take the green flag, and they go thundering into turn number 2 for the first time.
No surprises. The bottom of the racetrack had the advantage. Emmerling quickly moved to the front of the field. Diving to the inside was Goodale. He is forcing John McKennedy up the hill. Off turn number 2, they are side by side for third.
A little bit of a wiggle for Goodale to the inside of McKennedy for that third position. Emmerling is gone already, has opened up about a 3-car length lead from Hirschman in second, Goodale in third. Catalano now in the 54 looking to the inside to take the 4th spot away as McKennedy trying to jam that car in the line in 5th, and he does get to the bottom of the racetrack in car number 79.
All of a sudden, everyone is realizing the spotter is becoming a key ingredient because now Austin Beers moves in to the bottom of the racetrack as well. Beers Beers is a factor. He is now running among the top 6 cars. Michael Christopher is in 7th. Challenge Catalano for 3rd. They come off the turn. That forces Goodale up the hill. The GA roofing machine drops back to 4. Kyle, here comes Austin Beers.
Good early run for Austin Beers, looking to work his way into the top 5. Paulie Hardwick, a big slow down for a moment off of turn number 4, really split the field in half. Thought he was going to get turned around by Andrew Moeller. Everyone's okay after a little bit of contact, but the top 9 or so have been able to break away from Hardwick, Moeller, Chanette, and Kobe behind them. Top 3 looking to check out. Patrick Emmerling, his once 4 or 5 car length lead being evaporated here by Matt Hirschman, and the 54 staying right with Hirschman. Of course, that is Tommy Catalano, our 2nd place qualifier earlier today. Tommy coming from the 5th spot up to 3rd and challenging for more.
Well, that's been happening. All of a sudden, things have become a single file formation. Who's going to step on the line next? And all of a sudden, the young Moeller, who is a factor at the bottom of the top 10, he's making his presence known all over the back bumper of another driver that's considered a rookie. That is Paulie Hardwick. Back up front, Beers has moved in to the top 4. He is running in the tire tracks of the number 54 machine. Good racing right there as well.
Steven Kopsik fell back early in car number 21, started in the 10th position, and is about in the 15th or 16th spot right now. So Kopsik trying to find the handle on that car deeper in the field, and just in front of Steven, you watch this battle for position. Couple of orange cars, Hardwick and Moeller in that pack of traffic. Then it's Chanette and Kobe. Then you get back to the 21 of Kopsik racing into turn number 1.
Back up front, Kyle, all of a sudden. It was car number 60. Dropped back just a bit. That gave Catalano the advantage. The inside lane opened up as it worked its magic and worked back to the front of the field. Meanwhile, we look further back in the field. Doug Kobe is back in the 13th spot. Remember the story of him being the previous winner in all of this. Back up front, bid for 3rd. We've got Beers coming forward, and that means Hirschman is drifting back just a bit.
Back to 4th right now, just in front of Michael Christopher Jr. in the 31, then Eric Goodale, and then a little bit of contact there. McKennedy and Ripkema just behind them out of the top 6. Ripkema hangs on to that position. Then the 56 for Trevor Catalano goes next, followed by John McKennedy, who lost that spot a lap ago. And in the line just in front of Hardwick and Andrew Moeller as things tighten up once again at the front of the field, just 0.3 of a second. That's about a car length here at White Mountain between Patrick Emmerling and Tommy Catalano.
They continue to be the stars of the show so far, but meanwhile, little bumper contact, and that is for 3rd on back. What's the story there? Michael Christopher has given a test and a tap to the bumper of Hirschman, but Hirschman still guards the spot, sets in the 4th position. Meanwhile, it is Christopher in 5, Goodale is in 6, and Ripkema is coming. He's picking up the pace. Catalano is also there, and McKennedy back to the front of the field. Things in formation, still single file, but we've got a side-by-side bid.
That's a couple of orange cars that we talked about a moment ago. Hardwick slides up the racetrack. Andrew Moeller goes to the inside in a bid for the 10th position. At the front, keeping an eye on Tommy Catalano, who had engine issues here at the racetrack 1 year ago, was unable to compete in the main event, running 2nd right now, has a prior top 5 finish here many seasons ago when the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour raced here in 2020, and is hot on the hip of race leader Patrick Emmerling right now through turn number 4, and peeking to the inside is Catalano in that 54 car.
Well, Catalano's tested the waters on several occasions. He comes off the turn, good forward bite like a rocket, but Emmerling is as smooth as glass as the leader of the event. Catalano continues to work him over. USNE Power, 2 cars with the same sponsor. One is the Energizer machine, car number 1, and then Catalano sitting there in 2nd. Meanwhile, let's go to Bonza.
Tommy Catalano, the last couple races have not had the results he and the team are looking for. So for this weekend, they resorted back to the setup that worked best for them this year at the Riverhead Raceway, their best altogether put day in 2026, where Tommy finished 4th. They felt pretty good about the car. Tommy's had some good runs at White Mountain before, but they had such bad luck last year, they learned nothing from it. So far, so good today. Happy with the speed.
Currently 8th in in the championship standings, and here he comes, building a run up the back straightaway on Patrick Emmerling for the top spot. Emmerling a bit stronger in the outside lane, has the top of the race lead by a half a car length, but Tommy Catalano not giving up on the bottom.
Tommy Catalano made a nice move from high to low. Emmerling is still on the top side of the racetrack, trying to do his best to maintain and get enough momentum. They head down the back straightaway, side by side. First lead change of the event, but look out. Here comes Austin Beers. Beers, the defending champion, the A-Team machine, looks racy. It's going to take over the spot from Emmerling. He moves into position number 2.
Austin Beers into the second spot. Then it's going to be Emmerling backsliding the third, just in front of Matt Hirschman and Michael Christopher Jr. in car number 31. The top 5 coming back together after getting strung out in the opening laps of this event, but all of that shuffling for the lead kind of brought Christopher and Hirschman, Tyler Ripkema back into the lead battle. Eric Goodale not too far out of the mix as they come off of turn number 4. Laps clicking away, already 34 complete as they cross the line here in the Thunder in the Mountains 200. And Tommy Catalano, second different leader here today.
Well, he's been leading. A guy to watch is just out of the top 5. It is Tyler Ripkema. Ripkema has tried just about everything to get around Michael Christopher Jr. It hasn't worked. Now, all of a sudden, the lead is starting to expand a little bit more. 0.351 between first and second. It's Austin Beers. Remember, where Beers started in the event with the number 64 car was out of the wheel spin in the 9th position. Where's Stephen Kopsick in all of this? He's been struggling. He's back in the 12th spot.
Yeah, fell back early from a top 10 starting position to about 14th. Has been able to regain some of those spots, including moving around Doug Coby a couple laps ago. But Kopsick has a bit of a hole to climb out of here, but still a long way before we get to the finish of this one. Has plenty of time to get there.
You know, Kyle, earlier today, everybody was talking about pit strategy. We don't have a pit road. We have to touch upon where these cars have to go to come off the racetrack and come back on.
They have to exit the racetrack over in turn number 3, come off in turn number 4. Very similar to what we see at the Seekonk Speedway in Massachusetts when you leave the racetrack to pit. Up front, not wanting to pit right now are the race leaders. Beers to the inside of Catalano for the top spot. Could we have another lead change here? Austin Beers looks awfully strong on the inside.
Austin Beers becomes the 3rd different leader of the event. From a 9th starting position, he takes over the lead. Catalano has to settle back into 2nd. That all of a sudden tightens things up. How tight, you might wonder? Well, the top 8 make it now 10, are bumper to bumper. And the brand new leader and the defending champion of the Whelen Modified Tour, Beers, is in command in the Sly Zabin, Ron Uhouse prepared car.
Hard to believe Austin Beers has yet to win this season. The defending champion, his most recent win, Riverhead, last October. Let's hear more from the Beers camp now with Bonza over in the pit area.
Austin Beers felt like last year in this race he had a car that could win, but he got caught up in an incident, got shuffled back during that race, and still managed the top 5. Today after practice, Beers said he thinks that's the best the car has been all year long. Now the caution comes out. Beers has the lead, but he was really happy with the car today and thinks he might have a chance to win the race.
The Whelen caution lights are on. Whelen, the official warning lights of NASCAR, trusted to protect first responders. Our first caution of the afternoon here on lap number 46, Ben, and it looks like there's some debris up in turn 2.
And I'm going to tell you right where that debris has come from. It is the air cleaner off the number 1 car of Patrick Emmerling. If you look at that white disc up there, that's the top of the air cleaner. Now, as the car comes down the front straightaway, a perfect shot of it there, you can see there is the carburetor, and there is no what they call a post where it comes through the center of the air cleaner, usually something as simple as a wing nut that you'd buy in a local hardware store. That changes all of this. Will it help or will it hurt? Only the crew chief of that car can tell the story, and Dale Hedquist is that guy. We'll take a look at the replay and check out more.
Yeah, racing through turn number 2 just behind Catalano, and here in just a moment, there it goes. It's there one moment and not there the next, and on the racetrack, putting us under the first caution flag of this event. Again, presented by Whelen Engineering here this 2026 season. As drivers are stepping out of line, coming up on 1/4 distance here this afternoon, and looks like we're going to have some takers onto the pit lane, including the driver running in the 3rd position in Patrick Emmerling. Moves to the outside of the racetrack along with Doug Kobe, Steven Kopsick, and others. Bonza Tufa about to get busy over in turn number 3.
Yeah, pit road's about to be a busy place. A lot of front runners seem to be making their way on pit road. One of the top point getters that is having a tough time early on this race is Steven Kopsick, who came in 4th in the standings. He's not happy with the car. Patrick Emmerling came down pit road. He's the only one that's down pit road right now. As they took a look at the car, I think he was the one that lost the air cleaner, so they're going to work on that one machine and try to get him back out there.
Pit road was closed for Emmerling a moment ago when he peeled off the pit lane. Everybody else that was lined up ready to pit a lap ago will come in this time. So we'll see what the penalty is there for Emmerling as we go back to the rest of the stops here, led by Doug Kobe as they head to the pit area with Bonza.
Kobe's been complaining about a car on top of the racetrack all day. He comes down pit road, but so does Steven Kopsick coming in. He felt like the car was just out of control. These guys can change up to 2 tires, put 2 new tires on tonight on today's 200-lap race. They're going to use their change tire right now. They're going to change both rear tires on Kopsick's machine and try to get that car dialed in. Kopsick thought his car was out of control, firing off. A quick pit stop for them. They're down and away.
Well, Steven Kopsick trying to get back out as quick as possible. Rear tires, they're, of course, trying to set the stagger on that car and make a big difference. It appears that he feels it's all happening in the back end, either too loose or too tight. Well, the parade of cars coming back out. Doug Kobe comes out. The brother, Cavallano, comes out, and Heggie comes out, and John Michael Chenette, followed by Paulie Hartwig, who lost perhaps the most time. It is the one car heading back to the pit area, the car that pitted before it was supposed to. Let's go back to Bonza Tufa.
Patrick Emmerling back down pit road after getting the air cleaner done. Now they're going to use one of their change tires. They're going to change both rear tires. That's going to be a common theme today, is changing both rear tires on their cars to try and maximize the grip. It is early in the race, so what they have is what they have now because they can't put on any more new tires. Emmerling's car started to fall off a little bit during that run, so when they had their air cleaner issue, they thought might as well put the tires on, try to get a head start later on in the race when and if everybody else pits.
Gets back out onto the racetrack just before the pace car gets to the line, so we'll stay on the lead lap, but we'll restart at the tail end of the field as the caution flag coming out for Emmerling, who lost his air cleaner, pitted a lap ahead of everybody else, and now we'll restart at the tail end of the field after taking 2 new tires in car number 1. So we'll see if he can make his way back up through the field after leading early here this afternoon. Patrick Emmerling, our most recent winner last week at Claremont, and the current championship leader coming into today, has some climbing to do here over the course of the next 148 laps.
And it's not as easy as you might anticipate working your magic because you have to be on the bottom of the racetrack. It seems to be fast. Go to the outside, you get shuffled to the back. Emmerling's got a long road ahead to get back to the front of this field. Beer started 9th, 3rd leader of the event. He's alongside the 2nd leader of the event, and that, of course, is Tommy Catalano. Tommy Catalano has had really a roller coaster season. A lot of mechanical woes have been the story for him. And today, it could all change here today. Matt Hirschman, he can be a sleeper early in an event, but when they show him the money or he sniffs the money from the vault at Bar Harbor Bank, guess what? He's right there to contend. Green, 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 and we are racing. Beers is the leader of the pack. Inside looks good. Here comes Hirschman. But Christopher, and just as we called it, Tyler Ripkema is now among the top 4.
Ripkema looking for 3rd on Tommy Catalano, who is backsliding as the lead car in the outside lane. Ripkema to the bottom as the top 2 single out. Beers and Hirschman on the inside of the speedway. Then it's Ripkema next in line. Catalano going to get that 54 in line and just in front of John McKennedy and Michael Christopher Jr., who are nose-to-nose for position 5, just in front of Paulie Hartwig, who becomes a part of that battle here to complete lap number 57.
You know, we were just watching the number 79 car of John McKennedy. That car is loosened up considerably. Paulie Hartwig now has found a home to the inside of Michael Christopher. Christopher needs to get to the bottom. Is there an opening? No, not at this point. There's literally a conga line of competitors that are stuck to the bottom of the racetrack. Christopher's getting the shuffle in the outside lane.
He is indeed fading to the 8th position as he crosses the line. Check that, make it 7th for Michael Christopher Jr. The 8th place car, Eric Goodale, inside as they slide back in the line, and everybody single file formation with the exception of John Michael Shinnett and Teddy Hodgson. They are doubled up at the back of the pack just in front of Patrick Emmerling, who for the record just a few laps after the restart is currently in the 16th position in that USNE Power number 1.
Also, we want to mention, where is Steven Kopsick in all of this? That tire change made all the difference in the world. He's in the 12th, check that, now he's in the 11th spot. All of a sudden, Steven Kopsick has got his car hooked up and dialed in. Directly in front of him, it is Goodale to the outside, and Doug Coby, the only previous winner in this event, is running to the bottom of the racetrack in the new car machine.
John McKennedy having a tough time keeping his car on the bottom, and Paulie Hartwick goes to the inside for position number 5. Eric Goodale also sliding up the hill. Couple of ill-handling cars there. Steven Kopsick forcing the issue in car 21 just behind Coby as we watch that battle up the back straightaway. Kopsick to the inside, Goodale to the outside, and Andrew Moeller, best seat in the house, car number 82.
You know, Steven Kopsick has a car that is working now. He told his dad on the radio it was not. Whatever the father did, besides the tires making an adjustment, it's paying off. Kopsick is now moved up to the top 10. He is definitely passing more cars on the racetrack than anyone else at this particular point. Good side-by-side battle. Moeller is trying to hold off Goodale, and directly behind Goodale, one of the rookie drivers. It is Jaden Harmon out of Pennsylvania in the Harmon Funeral Homes car.
Jaden Harmon, 17 years of age, from Rock Glen, Pennsylvania. Just a couple of starts here on the tour. Both this season had a top 10 effort in his debut at the Seekonk Speedway, 15th last week at Claremont, making his White Mountain debut here this afternoon, and having a nice run mid-pack early as they come back off of turn number 2 and up the back straightaway. Here's Catalano and Christopher, Michael Christopher Jr., Trevor Catalano. That's the best race among the top 10. Couple of white cars just in front of Jaden Harmon in the 9 and Patrick Emmerling in the 1.
Meanwhile, Christopher drops back a spot. Here comes Steven Kopsick, 10th. Now making a bid, went down underneath Doug Coby, moved into the top 9. That bumps Coby's car number 28 back to 10. Moeller is going with him. Kopsick has a car that's coming to the front of this field. Keep your eyes on the Newtown Pools machine, car 21. It is coming forward. Back up front, Paulie Hartwick working over John McKennedy. Look at that battle there. Now Emmerling has now broken into the top 10, Kyle. He is now among the top 10 positions, and he's coming forward.
Moving to the inside of Jaden Harmon, taking Doug Coby with him. Now Harmon to the inside of Coby. Car number 9 fading here, just a last couple of laps, fading outside of the top 10. Coby, John Michael Shinnett, Teddy Hodgson in that pack of traffic, about a half a lap behind Austin Beers. Hard to believe that the defending champion has yet to win this season. 5 wins on his career, but his most recent last October at the Riverhead Raceway on Long Island, looking to end that streak here today. Matt Hirschman in the 2nd spot. A lot of momentum with that team right now. We talked about it at the top of the show. Top 2 finishes in the last 2 races after a bit of a sluggish start in 2026, but that team has come alive here in recent weeks.
You know, take a look at the back of Tyler Ripkema's car. You'll see that the sheet metal is damaged and been pushed in. Who's done that? Well, Catalano. He's been trying to work him over and get him to move up a bit so he can be a factor in this one. Paulie Hartwick is all over John McKennedy. McKennedy's hoping for a caution. He's got a very loose race car. Hartwick now moves in. Paulie Hartwick has moved into the top 5 for the first time here today, shuffling John McKennedy to the outside, and right there with him comes all of a sudden the other Catalano car, working its magic to the front.
Hardwick has run well here the last month or so. A 5th place effort at Oxford, a 5th last week at Claremont. Beginning to figure it out here on the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour after finding so much success in the South. Paulie, just 15 years of age, from Galloway, New Jersey. 3rd generation, and running in the 5th spot right now, about a car length behind Tommy Catalano in the 54. In fact, he's in a Catalano sandwich trying to hold off Trevor Catalano in the 56 just behind him.
Well, that's a good battle right there, just starting to shape up. But I think the next key battle is that battle for second. Tyler Ripkema is all over the Hirschman number 60 car. Now, where did Ripkema start? Back in the 13th position. So he has gained a lot of position. Door opened up. Little stutter step by Hirschman. Gathered it back, pulled back in the line, but it is still a dogfight battle for second and third.
A little bit of contact there a lap ago between those two cars going into the corner. Ripkema wanting to get to the inside and get around Hirschman before Beers gets away. This is second on back, all the way back to the 1. They are all tightly bunched, second to 12.
Oh, trouble now. The other Catalano car got loose. John McKennedy finally looked for that spot to the inside and found it. Just as that's happening, Hartwig goes down low to pressure Tommy Catalano. Paulie Hartwig wants to be among the top 4. He's 5th currently on the racetrack.
There's Michael Christopher Jr. in the 31, and here comes Steven Kopsick. Christopher going the wrong way, Kopsick going the right way. Right now they are 8th and 9th. Just in front of Eric Goodale in the 56 as they come off of turn number 4. Let's check in back in with Bonza Tufa in the pit area, and a driver currently running in the 7th position in Jonathan McKennedy.
John McKennedy keeping up with that group of 5 cars in front of him, but McKennedy says his car is a little bit on the free side, just a bit loose, trying to make the passes in front of him. As Trevor Catalano gets loose in front of him, McKennedy's going to try and make the pass again.
Meanwhile, they continue to slice and dice, and they're unable to complete the mission, though, at this particular point. Now look at Hartwig. Goes down, right front, makes contact with the rear rub rails on the Catalano car. That loosens up the Hartwig car. He still holds on. He pushes his way up the racetrack, gathers it back. Paulie Hartwig is in 4th. That bumps, well, the 56 car, the brother. He now moves in from an 11th spot. Trevor Catalano is coming to the front.
And Tommy Catalano will get back in the line, but just behind Trevor, just in front of Jonathan McKennedy. Both of those drivers have gone up the hill in recent laps. Further up, here comes Paulie Hartwig, angling to the bottom of the speedway. Car 73 on Old Blue. Car number 3, Tyler Ripkema. This battle is for the 3rd position.
You know, just a few laps ago, Kyle, it looked like Ripkema had the best car on the racetrack. All of a sudden, that's changed. Cars are starting to loosen up. They're not sticking on the bottom now. They're drifting up about half a car length, and that's what's happening now. Hirschman tries to hold on. Bold move by Ripkema. Goes to the outside with Old Blue. That's the challenge on the racetrack for second.
High side momentum. The story here for Tyler Ripkema. Everybody wanting to guard the inside. He'll go top side. They're both closing in on Corey Plummer, the lap car, the first car to fall off the lead lap. Plummer pulls his car to the bottom, and Ripkema says, thank you very much. We'll take the runner-up spot. And now to try to close that 0.9 of a second gap between himself and race leader Austin Beers.
Let's go back to the pit area with Bonza Tufa on the Tyler Ripkema car.
Guys, it has been a very eventful day for Tyler Ripkema because at the end of practice, he lost power steering. They replaced the pump, didn't do anything. They replaced the rack just before qualifying, and his first laps to test the changes ended up working for him. He got his power steering back, didn't get the best of qualifying runs, but he was really happy with the car in race trim, and you're seeing it right now, running in second spot.
And the runner-up spot for Tyler Ripkema, who has had a roller coaster-like season, started the year strong, a runner-up finish at New Smyrna, a 3rd at Martinsville, then had a couple of finishes out of the top 20, including a 24th place effort at Riverhead when he caught the outside catch fence. Running well here today in the 2nd spot, and is indeed closing a little bit of ground on race leader Austin Beers, as we're just past halfway.
So let's drop back to the 3rd position, and that, of course, is Paulie Hartwig. Then Trevor Catalano moved into the 4th position ahead of his brother Tommy Catalano. That bumped Matt Hirschman back for the first time to be out of the top 5. Now, he's being pressured by Christopher, but the 21 machine of Kopsick is in the 9th spot. Oh, a little contact there. He almost upset the field behind him. Emmerling is right behind Kopsick. Those two cars have not gained a lot of positions in a few laps. Let's see what's happening. Look at Michael Christopher working over McKennedy.
Been tough to gain positions on the racetrack unless you're Tyler Ripkema, who went to the outside and was able to pass Matt Hirschman a few laps ago for second. Paulie Hartwig now in third as they make their way back down to the corner. Hirschman, meanwhile, has faded to sixth. Trevor Catalano has got to the inside, as has Tommy. Matt Hirschman in sixth, Jonathan McKennedy in seventh. They have singled out McKennedy, getting itchy, though, wanting to get around Hirschman along with Michael Christopher Jr. in car 31 as we watch that battle race up the backstretch.
And just behind them in the ninth spot, it is Kopsick. Patrick Emmerling has now broken into the top 10. Still pretty good racing up front. Leader way out in front. The margin between first and second has not changed a great deal. Austin Beers seems to be, well, in a zone of his own at the front of this field. Meanwhile, Tyler Ripkema still in second, but Paulie Hartwig seems to be closing up the gap. Now, remember earlier, Kyle, right front, he made contact with another car. It upset the car for a second, but it doesn't seem to falter it now. He's very strong. Let's look a little further back in the field. Hirschman's fighting a car that is not as strong as it was. John McKennedy's car went from loose to starting to tighten up, and here comes Michael Christopher with Kopsick, whose car now is starting to loosen up just a bit.
And the one car coming to life on those newer tires that he was able to take on lap number 49, although still just in 10th for Patrick Emmerling, just behind Stephen Kopsick, and now trying to get a run up the back straightaway is Emmerling and get away from Eric Goodale. McKennedy leads, or check that, Hirschman leads this battle. McKennedy wanting to lead it off of turn number 2. Just had a look to the inside as Emmerling does get that run on Kopsick just behind him. So a lot happening right now mid-pack. A full half lap behind race leader Austin Beers, who maintains a 0.6 of a second lead. Both Ripkema and Hartwig both closing in on him for the top spot.
There are 5 cars contending for the 6th position. And there's a lap, trouble to the top side of the racetrack. Trevor Catalano's car almost comes to a stop coming off turn number 2. Caution flag comes out for the second time of the event. Caution number 2, and Trevor Catalano's car. We didn't actually catch it, but all of a sudden it seemed to slow. He tried to get it down on the top side of the racetrack. Fortunately, it did not work.
Let's get more from the Trevor Catalano pit area as we go under the caution flag for the second time in this event here on lap 118.
Trevor Catalano came on the radio. He said something broke, might have been something in the transmission, but he basically made it sound like their day is over.
Heartbreaker for him after running so strong. It worked his magic and come to the front of the field. Still, there's been only 3 leaders of the event, 2 cautions, as Kyle pointed out, and among those cautions, 1 for the air cleaner situation of Emmerling, and now for the Catalano situation that just took place. So, this is we're going to see who's going to be a taker or who is not going to be a taker to head down into the paddock area. And one car pulls out of line. It looks like the Heggie machine might be the Lucky Dog car, and it's up behind the pace car. But Austin Beers took the lead, Kyle, and he has not relinquished it at all. We saw that the 3 car came from the 13th position and had a brilliant run of coming to the front of this field. Another driver that's done a great job is the 73 car. And no surprise to any of us, Paulie Hartwig, who started in 7th, and he has now found his place in this event in the top 4 cars. Matt Hirschman back in position number 5 currently as we speak.
And here on lap number 120, it looks like once pit lane does open, we're going to have some takers as the red light remains on. Pit road continues to be closed as the field has been gathered behind the pace car. Green light is on, and we will go and head to the pit area here in just a moment. Austin Beers stepping out of line as we see Trevor Catalano in the pit area, out of his car already, shaking his head. Out of this one here early as everyone wanting to make pit stops, including the race leader, Austin Beers, heads that way. Tyler Ripkema out of line, Tommy Catalano.
And let's go quickly back to Bonza Tufa as the cars come off the racetrack. Bonza?
Yeah, all the teams that didn't pit the first caution are coming in now, including Austin Beers, our race leader, and the 79 of John McKennedy, who makes a hard left turn to his pit stall. McKennedy saying the car's a bit too loose. They're going to put a half a turn in the front sway bar to help snug that car up. Austin Beers in the 64 coming in as our leader. He was really happy with the car. I don't see any significant chassis adjustments on his 64 machine. Beers coming in with a lot of confidence, still has that confidence. A fairly quick pit stop. He's down and away. Everybody taking 2 new rear tires.
Well, Tyler Ripken is a guy who made his presence known in the pit and came back out ahead of Beers. Catalano also comes back out. Then Hirschman was the next car in line in formation. And John McKennedy is perhaps the guy who talked about a loose race car. We watched how loose the car was. He lost a lot of time in the pit area, and time there is going to be costly on the racetrack itself. Again, when we go back to green, there's no question, Kyle, Patrick Emmerling and Steven Kopsik are the guys to watch. They have passed more cars. That means they've been harder on their tires than just about anybody else in the field. Now, they can put more new tires on, and let's see what's going to happen for them. And right behind them is, of course, the car that was so dominant, and that was Austin Beers.
Ken Hagee will get the free pass. Let's reset the running order for you, as looks like everybody has made it back out of the pit area. Paulie Hardwick, who also stopped earlier in this event, will stay on the racetrack here. He pitted on lap number 49 and will assume the race lead over Patrick Emmerling, who made a stop as well on lap 49. Then Steven Kopsik, and then Austin Beers, who was first off of the pit lane here just a moment ago on lap number 121. Tyler Ripkema to round out the top 5. Tommy Catalano, Matt Hirschman, Jonathan McKennedy, Michael Christopher, and Andrew Moeller to round out the top 10 as we continue under the caution flag for the second time here at White Mountain Motorsports Park, getting set to go for the restart in just a few laps from now.
We're back here at Thunder Road, and of course the field has been shuffled just a bit. The high cards have risen to the top.
Here they come off of turn number 4, looking for the restart here at White Mountain Motorsports Park. Paulie Hardwick at the front of the field for the first time today. Patrick Emmerling to his outside. Then it's Steven Kopsik. And then the drivers that just exited the pit lane under this yellow with the freshest tires, Austin Beers, Tyler Ripkema, and Matt Hirschman battle up front.
It appears for the very first time we are about to have a repeat leader of the event. Kopsik now works to the inside, but Emmerling is that guy looking to take back the lead. He'll try to cross over, forcing Paulie Hardwick up the hill. He does. Brand new leader emerges. Second time he's been at the front. It is Patrick Emmerling. Here comes Kopsik in the top 3. To the outside of him is Austin Beers. Side by side, Kyle, for the third spot.
Emmerling led early, had the air cleaner issue in the first quarter of this event. Had to pit, restart at the tail end of the field, and now finds himself back at the front after the latest cycle of pit stops under the second caution flag. And with 70 laps to go, Emmerling leads over Hardwick in second, Steven Kopsik in third. This field has been turned upside down a couple of times. Former leader Austin Beers just trying to hang on to fourth with Tyler Ripkema at the bottom in old blue.
It is a side-by-side bid there, and now Catalano with the 54 Tommy has emerged among those top 6 cars. Ripkema to the inside. Beers has went to the outside, hoping he could complete the move. It didn't work. Now he's changed his line. He cuts low to the bottom. That forces Ripkema back into the 5th spot. Hirschman is coming. Car number 60 is back in the 7th position. Michael Christopher is 8th. Jonathan McKennedy is 9th. And Andrew Moeller rounds out the top 10.
An issue a couple laps ago on the John Michael Chanette number 8 as he'll go to the pit area. They stack up from third on back. Beers went to the inside of Kopsik. They both got sideways, and Ripkema went to the bottom to take the 4th position away. Kopsik was able to get away in 3rd. Beers now in a race to hang on to 5th with Tommy Catalano to his right elbow.
It appeared that Beers, of course, when they made the contact, it upset the car. Pulled off the Timex timely move of the event. By gathering the car back, he lost a couple of positions on the racetrack, but he didn't lose more than that. Margin between 1st and 2nd is a little bit tighter than 2nd and 3rd. Things are still settling in. Leader is still Emmerling.
Margin is a half second between the top two. Patrick Emmerling, Paulie Hartwig III. Bit of a gap back to Steven Kopsik of about a second between Hartwig and Kopsik in third, running unchallenged in that spot. And then they stack up right there from fourth on back, led by Tyler Ripkema, Austin Beers. You have the 54 of Tommy Catalano and Matt Hirschman in the 60.
Well, it appears now here comes Beers again. Tries to make the crossover, moves to the inside of Tyler Ripkema. That's the battle for the fourth and fifth spot. He can't make it stick. He's thrown just about everything at him. It just doesn't work. He had a better race car before he pitted than he does right now, but he's still a factor among the top five.
The race for fourth is tight. The battle for the lead getting tight. Paulie Hartwig III slowly closing in on Patrick Emmerling. 0.4 of a second last time by between those two. Then another second back to Kopsik in third. So we'll keep an eye on the battle for the lead and this ongoing race from fourth on back. And they are lined up behind Tyler Ripkema. There's Teddy Hodgson mid-pack trying to get around Eric Goodale in the 56.
Doug Colby is back in that pack of cars as well. John McKennedy is struggling a bit. He has dropped way back after that last pit stop. He is in the 13th position at this particular time. Car 79, he complained about a loose race car. That is what Bonzatupa told us, and now he's struggling. The car is not working as well as it did earlier.
John McKennedy in the 79 trying to come back through the field, and in fact losing touch with all those cars in front of him, including the 58 of Goodale, the 05 of Hodgson. Doug Colby in that pack of traffic as well in car number 28 as we watch the race for the lead. Still has stabilized just a bit. Paulie Hartwig III, it looked like was going to make a charge on Patrick Emmerling a couple laps ago, but that charge has since stalled out.
Meanwhile, take a look at that third position battle between the 21 car of Kopsik and Tyler Ripkema with the number 3 car. He's able to reel him in, but he has not been able to make the move on him. Now you're looking at it right here. He'll take a peek to the outside, then pull back into formation. Not going to be an easy task by any stretch, but here comes Ripkema. Looks high again. Will he try to make the crossover, Kyle? No, it doesn't work.
At three-quarter distance, 150 down, 50 to go here this afternoon. NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour racing under bright sunshine. 72-degree temperatures here at White Mountain Motorsports Park. The Thunder in the Mountains 200. And right now it is all Patrick Emmerling, last week's winner at Claremont, the current championship leader. Redrew the first position during the redraw earlier this afternoon. Everything going his way for the USNE Power number 1 car. And in fact, pulling away from Paulie Hartwig as the race for third is side by side behind them.
Well, that race is something amazing. It is now a race for the 4th spot, and all of a sudden, Austin Beers moves in, takes over 4th. That bumps Tyler Ripkema, who was trying to make that outside lane work. Let's go 1 spot behind them, and you will see that the Catalano number 54 car of Tommy is being worked over heavily by Matt Hirschman. Hirschman is there. Christopher is back. Cars trying everything.
They go back to the corner. This is 6th on back, 6th and 7th. Hirschman in that 7th spot goes to the inside. Had a great run, and that was about 2 laps in the making, but was able to get the momentum and the run he needed to the bottom. Was able to move around Catalano, and the door remains open for Michael Christopher Jr. and Eric Goodale. So a tough lap and a half here for Tommy Catalano, who could lose up to 3 positions and fall to 9th.
Meanwhile, behind them, Teddy Hodgson in the 05 car is there, and with him is Doug Colby. Colby comes back to life with his number 28 car after pitting early and making additional chassis adjustments. Car number 1, well, that's been the story, but it is the leader of the event. But keep your eyes on something that might be developing soon. Kyle, remember, Austin Beers and Steven Kopsik had a little tussle early in this event. Will it be payback time? We're watching that right now.
Yeah, both cars were sideways off of turn number 4. Not that many laps to go, and Beers has been able to reel back in Steven Kopsik for third. Kopsik fends him off for now. This is about a couple of car lengths behind Paulie Hartwig in the 2nd spot. Hartwig has lost ground to Patrick Emmerling, who has built a 1.1 second gap between himself and the rest of the field. Here's Beers to the inside of Kopsick for third.
He throws the entire car at it, dives to the inside. They touch, they cling, and they clang. But guess what? Austin Beers is on the podium in third. Meanwhile, Ripkema is coming back to life, pressuring the 21 car. But keep your eyes on Austin Beers. Those times are picking up, and he is getting quicker as Paulie Hartwig is holding on. But the leader still remains Patrick Emmerling. The Energizer number 1 is doing just that. Out in front and energizing as car number 1. It's a big day for ones for the one team.
35 laps to go for Patrick Emmerling to pick up another win here in this 2026 campaign. May have lap traffic to deal with before this one is all said and done. Tyler Ripkema further back. Had a look to the inside of Steven Kopsick. That is for the 4th position. Bit of contact. Got Kopsick out of shape off of turn number 2. Hangs on to the position, but Ripkema not done with him yet, along with Matt Hirschman, Michael Christopher Jr. car in that mix, along with Eric Goodale.
That is a 5-car bid that's going on. We're looking at it on the left side of your screen. On the right side of your screen, Teddy Hodgson is battling now with the Catalano number 54 car. Let's go back up and see that battle again. Tyler Ripkema has tremendous forward bite coming off the turns. He can reel in on Kopsick, but that's about as far as he can get at this point. Hirschman is there, Christopher is there, and Goodale. 5 cars contending for one spot on the racetrack, and that is in the 4th position.
There was slight contact a few laps ago with Ripkema peeking to the inside of Kopsick. Steven able to hang on to the 4th position for now in car number 21 as we check in the pit area with Bonzatufa. More on the driver in the 4th position and Steven Kopsick.
Kopsick pitted earlier in the race, Kyle, and they're telling him to just save his stuff leading up to the next caution, trying to save his tires for this final sprint. Kopsick said the car was good before the most recent caution, but Ripkema behind him has fresher tires. That being said, Ripkema says the car is good, just sliding around a little bit, sliding loose, sliding tight, just losing a little bit of grip, and that grip continues to go away as the laps click away.
Kopsick last pitted on lap number 49. Ripkema was in on lap 120. And Ben, what if there's not another caution?
Yes.
2 today, and we only had 2 in this race a year ago.
We certainly did, and that's pretty much been the story. Pretty smooth racing wherever you look through this field. Ripkema can reel in on Kopsick, but he's not able to do anything but that. Behind them, things are settling in and staying the same. Watch it, Ripkema now, coming off the 4th turn. He can reel in, but when he goes down into turn number 1, he loses that momentum. Back up front, Beers still settling in 3rd, and Beers has not been able to close up that gap. Let's go back to Ripkema and Kopsick now.
This is from the 4th spot on back. Steven Kopsick in the 21, Ripkema in the 3, getting aggressive top of the racetrack. Matt Hirschman just behind them in the 16, running in the 6th spot, the deepest that we have seen Matt here. And in a couple of weeks' time, top 2 finishes in the last 2 races, a win at Seekonk, a 2nd last week. Running in 6th right now is Matt Hirschman after running up front early in this event. That race, some 4 seconds behind Patrick Emmerling, who still maintains a 1-second gap over Paulie Hartwig. Austin Beers closing in on Hartwig, but might run out of time. Just 20 laps to go.
Down to this, and there is, of course, that line of cars back in that 4th position. Here, stepping to the inside, here comes Hirschman, lapped automobile. Hirschman thinks twice of it, goes to the outside, bumper to bumper. That is the story for the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th position.
Michael Christopher Jr. angling to the inside of Matt Hirschman. That is for the 6th spot. Christopher has to get back in the line and at the same time protect that position as Eric Goodale is hot on his back bumper. Further up, Hartwig looks like a little bit off the pace in 2nd spot. Austin Beers made it look easy up the backstretch to take the 2nd position away.
It was almost, kind of mysterious. All of a sudden, Paulie Hartwig got out of the gas. When he did that, Austin Beers just blew right by him. Now all of a sudden Hardwick's car comes back to life. But let's go back at that 5-car bid that is taking place for that 4th position.
Stephen Kopsick and Tyler Ripkema lead that battle up the backstretch, and again Ripkema in the outside lane where he has been most comfortable for much of this event in car number 3, and makes the pass with ease on Stephen Kopsick. Tyler Ripkema ripping the outside in old blue, but has a huge gap, length of the front straightaway, to his next closest competitor in Paulie Hartwick III, running in 3rd.
Meanwhile, the same thing that just happened a lap or so ago. All of a sudden, Matt Hirschman moves the number 60 car into the top 5. While he is in the 5th position, now Michael Christopher Jr. It's no question that car number 21 is not running as strong. Car is loosened up, back end shifts around. Goodale is all over his back bumper, and all of a sudden Doug Colby has now worked his way back towards the front. He is in the 9th position as we speak.
And Jonathan McKennedy, the Oxford winner last month, has just fallen off the lead lap. That 79 car has been out of the top 10 for much of the event, 12th right now. That leaves us with 11 cars on the lead lap into the final 10 laps. 8 laps to go for Patrick Emmerling as Austin Beers hangs on to 2nd, Hartwick in 3rd, and then it's going to be Ripkema and Hirschman as they go to the corner, and a little bit of a gap back between those 2 cars. Christopher still trying to move around Hirschman for that final spot in the top 5.
They've been going at it lap after lap consistently. Meanwhile, if you look a little further back, here comes Teddy Hodgson. Hodgson, for the first time in the top 10, moves down low, tries to take over the spot from Kobe. That will give him a solid run in the top 9. As that's happening, Stephen Kopsick is now running in the 8th position. Clock is ticking and time is running out. It doesn't appear that Austin Beers has enough time to move in and challenge Patrick Emmerling.
Moving around the lap car, a Corey Plummer, Jaden Harmon just in front of race leader Patrick Emmerling. He'll move to the inside of the racetrack, and perhaps before this one is all said and done, give the leader room to the outside, and he will, coming to 3 to go.
So we're down to the final 3 circuits. Leader has been Emmerling. He is the only leader that became a repeat leader in this event. The Energizer in command. Beers was the leader for a long stretch here, but then he pitted, and when he came back, he was caught in traffic.
Been an eventful afternoon for Patrick Emmerling. Had to go to the pits after an air cleaner issue. Had to race from the back of the field to the front. White flag is out for the current point leader and race leader into turn number 3 and off of turn number 4. Second consecutive win here on the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour for Patrick Emmerling. He'll win the Thunder in the Mountains 200 here at White Mountain Motorsports Park.
Austin Beers will come back as a previous leader of the event to finish in 2nd. Great run for the rookie Paulie Hartwig unofficially in 3rd. Tyler Ripkema, great day for him in 4th. Matt Hirschman will round out the top 5. Michael Christopher is 6th. Eric Goodale is 7th. Doug Colby is 8th. Andrew Moeller is 9th. And Teddy Hodgson, another rookie, will finish among the top 10.
11th win here on the tour for Patrick Emmerling, and 2nd consecutive victory after a checkered flag just 8 days ago at Claremont. Good run for Emmerling right now. 3rd at Seekonk last month. Oxford, his top 10 effort in 7th. A nice consistent season for the Energizer 1, and it's the number 1 up front here today.
All ones all day long. And remember, this program goes on to the high banks of Monadnock for a JDV Productions event, and what a great day it'll be there. You don't want to miss that at Monadnock, the next stop for the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour. The car is setting in the winner's circle. The Energizer machine, the Grasso brothers, along with HeadQuest, the big bear hugs in the winner's circle, and we've got the top 5 cars that are located there as well.
Yeah, Dale Hedquist, the winning crew chief for Patrick Emmerling, a 2nd consecutive checkered flag as they have a pretty good streak going right now. We'll go down trackside and hear from him in just a moment. And some of the other top 5 finishers, including Austin Beers, Paulie Hartwick III, continues to show improvement on this tour. Tyler Ripkema 4th, and Matt Hirschman will round out the top 5. Just 2 caution flags slowed this event None for incident, one for debris
Yep.
on lap 47 for the air cleaner from the Patrick Emmerling car, and then the stopped car of Trevor Catalano up in turn number 2 after mechanical issues ended his day on lap number 117.
Well, there's no question. In the winner's circle, our top 5 are definitely 5 of the best in the business on the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour. The second half of the season, if this was a sneak preview, Kyle, we are in for a treat because nobody is going to give anybody any extra room. You got to fight and earn. Let's go quickly to Bonza Tufa. Bonza?
Patrick Emmerling climbs out of the car after going back-to-back in the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour. He gets it done once again, this time at the White Mountain Motorsports Park. A little confetti blast as well. Patrick, back-to-back races. You start on the pole, back-to-back races, you win. But this time around, a little bit of strategy play. How much patience did it take when you guys pitted to try and make your way back through the field knowing you had the better tires?
Yeah, a little bit. We definitely called an audible. Yeah, super lucky for some reason drawing those ones. And, yeah, some other guys are really good right at the beginning. I knew we were going to have the best long-run car. And, you know, we unloaded similar to what we did last year. Last year we were really, really fast, and we had a parts failure that ended our day, and so we were pretty hungry for this one, and we wanted to keep what we were doing rolling. And yeah, we lost that air cleaner earlier on. The stud broke off the carburetor, and so I was like, man, if you want to get them early, I'm game, and that's what we did. And you know, we were looking at the fall off, and we're like, man, we might just, you know, track position is so tough here, so we figured that was our way to get it back. But hats off to the whole US New Power #1 team. And I'd like to thank everyone involved, David Miller, Super Dal here, and my whole family. My family made it up to this one today, so that's really exciting. And but yeah, really exciting. Yeah, like I said, at the beginning of the season, we kind of had a little bit of a tough stretch where we weren't running that bad, but we weren't running how we wanted to, and we just knew that we just needed to get in our groove and we could do our thing.
Let's talk about the pit stop. What adjustments were made, if at all, or was the car just that good?
Yeah, I mean, we put our tires on. That changed just enough to fix us, and I knew we were gonna, you know, our cars normally run pretty good long run, and yeah, the tires have been really consistent. You know, the last several races we've been able to get a good handle. I think the tires are kind of doing what we needed them to do, and doing I think you can see more consistency throughout the field, I believe. So yeah, so hats off to them and everyone for yeah, we came out here, had a lot of fun. So
what's with the summertime for you guys?
That's right. I don't know what it is. Sometimes you just gotta, you know, get in a rhythm and build momentum and get in our groove. You know what I mean? That's what it kind of takes. You know, this series is so competitive. You need to get in your groove and get confident to be able to, you know, pull these things off.
And the time trial helps too. Now we'll do the American Racer tire draw to see who gets a free set of American Racer tires from Monadnock next weekend. It is the 10th place finisher that'll get a free set of American Racer tires. That's Jaden Harmon getting that free set as Patrick Emmerling celebrates the victory in the Thunder in the Mountains 200. Kyle?
All right, thank you very much, Bonza, as Patrick Emmerling continues to celebrate and will extend his championship point lead, but not that much, because Austin Beers, who finished in second, is also second in the championship standings coming into tonight. So it's still going to be relatively close when we go to the Monadnock Speedway here in just 1 week's time.
You know, interestingly enough, his dad, Eric Beers, is down there talking with Austin Beers about the situation and how it played out. And you have to give credit for Paulie Hartwig again, amazing young talent that continues to show an impressive amount of talent and victory. And what about Tyler Ripken? Overcoming from a power steering problem. They changed the power steering pump. That didn't work. They changed the rack itself, and then when they came out for the feature, they had no idea what to expect, but what they got was a great running race car. And then, of course, Bar Harbor Bank, and, of course, the legendary Matt Hirschman among them as well.
And we'll go down trackside and hear from some more of our top 5 finishers in just a moment, including Austin Beers, Also, Paulie Hartwick III out of his car, and Tyler Ripkema, a good fourth-place run. Matt Hirschman rounding out the top 5. A very quick event here this afternoon at White Mountain Motorsports Park. Just 2 yellows slowed the event. Very competitive and got physical at times.
Yes,
if you wanted to gain a spot on the racetrack, you had to put the bumper to the car in front of you more times than not, unless you were the driver of the 3 who stepped to the outside and really was able to make that second lane work for Tyler Ripkema. And finishing in the 4th position was Tyler, as Victory Lane celebrations continue here on the front straightaway with Patrick Emmerling. His 2nd consecutive victory here on the tour. And like he mentioned in Victory Lane a moment ago, a lot of luck on his side as well, along with a good race car. But to draw the number 1 now, 3 events in a row.
I'm going to get a lottery ticket and make him buy me one.
Time to take him to the casino with us.
Yes, good idea. And congratulations to him and his entire team as they're down there in Whelen Modified Tour, Victory Lane. Remember, our next stop, as we said, the high banks of Monadnock, guaranteed to be a thriller, a JDV production event, which is always loaded with top-shelf forms of entertainment and top-shelf fun.
Be our last bull ring for a while, the 5th annual Duel at the Dog 200 next week from the Monadnock Speedway here in New Hampshire. In a couple of weeks' time, a special midweek show on Wednesday, August 5th. The NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour goes to the Thompson Speedway Motorsports Park in Northeast Connecticut. And then on Saturday, August 22nd, the Mohegan Sun 100 at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway, the largest track that they'll compete on. And then Friday, August 28th, the GAF 150 at the Stafford Motor Speedway, the return of the Modified Tour to Stafford.
Big event, and everybody's been talking just about that as well. So, in addition to that, we go on to Oswego Speedway on Labor Day weekend, September 5th, and then we go to Riverhead Raceway, September 19th. That's the 2nd visit of the season at that track as well.
Always a good time on Long Island in New York at Riverhead Raceway, a longtime staple. It was Riverhead regular Mark Stewart claiming the win there a couple of months ago in our first trip to Riverhead. So we'll see if an outsider will claim the win when we go back there next month, or actually in about 6 weeks from now, as we go back down and hear from some more of our top finishers with Bonza.
Austin Beers coming home 2nd in today's race. Austin, you were very happy with the car throughout the day. How much would a late caution have helped you there at the end?
I feel like a late caution we would have won, but just hats off to everybody, the KLM Motorsports team. We're getting better and better every race, and this is one that got away from us. Just lost too much time with the 21 when we had that little scuffle in 3 and 4, and it kind of took 20 laps, to get back going there and getting those guys back. And yeah, what are you going to do? Our best finish of the year, but we're disappointed for sure.
How much did that time trial matter in the end of the race?
Sorry?
How much did the time trial qualifying just outside the redraw affect how the race played out?
Not much for us, honestly. We got to the lead pretty early there, and the car was on rails, and we were able to just maintain our gap out back and kind of just opened it up. And then when we pit, we just were a little tight on the tighter side there, and I found a top 2 late. So this one's on me, and hopefully we can get our win next week at Monadnock.
Austin Beers coming home with a 2nd place finish, keeping it consistent here at White Mountain. Now we'll go to Paulie Hartwick III. Pitted early, and then it seemed like you were hanging on in those last 20 or 30 laps. What was it like from behind the wheel trying to hang on to 2nd and then finishing 3rd?
Yeah, that's the beginning of the race. We fought a tight race car in the center, and when we made that decision to pit lap 50, and when we had that call, when I drove all the way up to 3rd, and if we didn't have a caution, I think I would have had a 2nd or 1st place car. But when that yellow came out, I was really nervous because everybody pitted, and I knew the one car had a really good car. So it was just a really nice day, and it was a really great day. So another top 5 finish. Had a good the one, and I saw the 64 coming, so I just decided to let him by because I knew he was way faster than me. So this place is pretty technical. I just got to thank everybody that came out and always helped me. Jersey Shore Contract, Preferential Therapist, Morgan Senior Race Engines, Lavalette Hardware, Velocita, LaJoy Seats, just everybody helps out and just keeps my dreams rolling, and I guess we're coming to Monadnock.
Back-to-back top 5 finishes for Paulie Hartwick III, a career-best 3rd place finish today in the Thunder in the Mountains 200. Let's go to Tyler Ripkema, who earlier today was fighting no power steering in practice. You guys replaced the pump, replaced the rack. Started deeper in the field than you wanted to, but you were able to get up to second. What was the key for you guys to really get back in the groove after all the hardships in practice?
Yeah, I mean, we had speed in practice. We got screwed up on our mock run, so we couldn't show anything for what we had for a mocked up lap. But we knew we had stability earlier on, and we were making swings back and forth. So we got it dialed in decent, and I was pretty confident we were going to be good. And then I was able to find the top groove earlier, I think, than a lot of guys get around Matt on the top there, and end up at the end getting Kopic. The car was really good up off the bottom for us. Could not roll bottom. It was just really tight toward the end there, but had lots of drive. So I guess you take the good with the bad there. But yeah, no, great race. We had to have a good one. It's been a pretty rough few weeks, so it's good to bounce back and be in a good position heading into Monadnock.
Tyler Ripkema back in the top 5 with Old Blue finishing 4th. Then we go to Big Money Matt Hirschman, back-to-back pole awards. 3 straight top 5 finishes. It seems like you guys are really starting to hit your stride once again. But how much more did you need from this car today to get further up front?
Yeah, we needed pretty much all day. We needed a little bit more. I don't think we were ever really, besides our pole lap, kind of pulled one out there. I don't think we were really top 3 speed today, but we were just a step off of that. Not far and not a bad run. We put together 3 straight top 5s, so that's something that's much improvement and just something to build on for us. So glad we're running competitive, stringing some good finishes together, and just want to thank Bar Harbor Bank and Trust. It's great to be up in this area with their branch locations all over northern New England here, and we thought we did represented well today. We're near the front, got the pole, and come away with a top 5. So we'll just try and keep building on this and go to Monadnock next week. It'll be a short, quick week, and we'll be back on the high banks next week.
Matt Hirschman coming home 5th, another top 5 run for the PD Motorsports 60 team as we close out the day here at White Mountain Motorsports Park with Patrick Emmerling going back-to-back in the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour. Kyle, Ben, let's bring it home.
You're right about that, and what a great day here it was in the mountains of New Hampshire, the White Mountains. You're looking at the winner, of course, Patrick Emmerling, but today we saw a lot of different changes heating up in the second half of the season, Kyle.
Indeed, including Patrick Emmerling, who continues to have that momentum heading into the second half of the year. His second consecutive win here on the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour at White Mountain Motorsports Park. The NASCAR Whelen Modifieds next up 1 week from today. The 5th annual Duel at the Dog 200 at Monadnock Speedway here in New Hampshire as the season rolls in to the summer months. For Bonza Tufa on the pit lane and Ben Dodge joining me up here in the tower, I'm Kyle Rickey congratulating Patrick Emmerling, winner of the Thunder in the Mountains 200 NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour race at White Mountain Motorsports Park.